My son in Jamaica, Tuesday, he went on his F2B visa interview.
Right.
I filed for him.
Okay.
I filed for him.
Things did not go too well, I guess, because you're calling me.
He need 601 waiver because
Why?
he was in trouble with his girlfriend in 2003.
Okay.
And he was arrested and he was
right, so
charged for wounding and destruction of property.
Okay, that is done here in the United States. You file it based on...
No, it's in Jamaica.
Your waiver's done in the United States here. So you need to file it here.
I have to do it here?
Yes. Hold on one second. You're the petitioner. It's the hardship to you. And you've got to do it, and it takes about a year, so let's get it going. Hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I have a friend who is a military, and he's filing for his wife back home in Jamaica. Now, this petition was submitted from this year? Yeah. Was submitted this year, February, to National Visa Center from NCIS. USCIS.
Why don't you put the person on the phone who knows what they're talking about?
I first sent my paperwork to USCIS.
Who's sponsoring you? Who's sponsoring you, or you're sponsoring somebody? I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, so I'm filing for my wife.
You're a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
The I-130 was approved?
Yes.
Okay, now you're at the National Visa Center. So what is your question?
Okay, so I sent in all my paperwork. Basically, all my paperwork has been approved, except they keep sending back.
Your I-130 was approved. You're at the National Visa Center.
Yes.
When you say all my paperwork was approved, there's no approval of paperwork at the National Visa Center. So you're already using the wrong words. When your petition gets to the National Visa Center, they send you back a letter for an agent of choice. Did you pick yourself that you're going to be the one dealing with the National Visa Center? You send that back in.
Yeah.
Then they send you back a fee bill. You paid that fee bill? Did you send the fee bill back in?
I paid all that stuff already.
Did you do your affidavit of support? Did you do your affidavit of support?
Yes, I did.
Did you do the biograph? Did you submit the police report for your wife?
The police report, I haven't sent it in yet because they haven't asked us for that yet.
Okay, so what have you done? You just paid the fee bill and that's it?
I paid the fee bill. I sent in. They asked me for my divorce decree because I was married previously. I sent that in both to USCIS and to them again, and they asked for my birth certificate. They asked for my tax paperwork. I sent all those in.
Did you do an affidavit of support? I don't need a list of everything. What is your question, by the way? Do you have a question?
I was trying to find out why they're taking so long.
Because you're doing because you don't know what you're doing. That's why. I could already tell you don't know what you're doing by the way you're even telling me what's going on. It's taking so long because you don't know what you're doing. You have two choices. You can continue to flummox your way through this, or you can hire an attorney. You just don't know what you're doing. That's why it's taking so long, and also Donald Trump. Okay? But because you're supposed to, after you pay the fee bills, you get back, you submit your affidavit of support with your 3 years tax returns. You're submitting everything in piecemeal instead of in one big application package and submitting it. And then you're calling me up on my show and saying everything was approved, everything wasn't. Yes, your petition was approved, but you're submitting everything in piecemeal. They asked me for this, so I submit it. Then they asked me for this, so I submit it. You don't know what you're doing, that's why. You submit everything one time, that's what makes everything go fast.
Well, I submitted everything they asked for. That's what I'm saying. But then they sent back and saying that one of my paperwork needed to be turned horizontally. So I turned it horizontally and sent it back to them. And they sent back again saying I need to turn the same paperwork horizontally.
I just said you don't know what you're doing, and they keep saying, "Well, you're sending in the paper horizontally," and all you just did was confirm what I just told you. You don't know what you're doing. You don't even know how to submit the papers properly. You're just doing it wrong. So hold on, I can help you, but that's what the problem is. You know, when people try to do things on their own, why is it taking so long? Because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But I just submitted it, and they told me I didn't submit it properly.
Right.
They told me that they returned it. They said it was horizontal. It should have been vertical. Well, then you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But then I did it again, and they told me it was wrong again. But I seem to be doing it right. No, you don't seem to be doing it right.
Or at least a lawyer can always help you figure out
Am I right or wrong?
Actually going wrong. 100% right.
I don't know what he's doing wrong, but I can tell you he's doing it wrong.
He's doing it all wrong.
All right. And when you're dealing with the National Visa Center, after you submit your fee bills, you get the affidavits of support, and you get the S-230, you submit everything in one huge package properly, not in piecemeal. Because I don't know, because I'm not there reading what they're sending back and forth.
Right.
But I do know that when I hear things are being sent in piecemeal, you're not doing it right.
Not at all.
My American wife has been physically and mentally abusing me, and I'm thinking about filing the 360. Now, I haven't even gotten my work permit yet. I'm still waiting for it. So can I file it now and wait for the work permit, or is it going to jeopardize everything?
No. You have a pending adjustment. You can file an I-360. You have to hope that VAWA is extended, which I'm sure it will be, but we don't know for sure yet. We won't know till the end of the month. But yes, file your I-360 now before VAWA expires on the 30th. When you get your adjustment interview on the current marriage case, you're going to go on that interview, and hopefully you'll have a receipt on the VAWA case, and you'll bring it in and say, I want to change it over. But it's not going to slow down your work permit right now.
So I can still wait for my work permit?
Yes.
It will not jeopardize it?
No. You can file a VAWA. You should do it right now. It will not prevent you from getting a work permit based on your current adjustment application. When you get your appointment for your green card based on your current adjustment application, which is based on a bona fide marriage, you will go in with a receipt notice for the I-360 and then switch it up and tell the officer, I'm applying for VAWA. You don't need to file a new adjustment. You can keep your current adjustment going and get the work permit based on the current adjustment. But you need to file the I-360 immediately because the VAWA program is ending in 15 days, and we don't know if it'll be extended or not. So at least give yourself a chance to get it filed before it expires.
I have a real quick question, so I don't want to be taking too much of your time. So I came here under F1 visa in 2012, and I went to school and I graduated from Michigan State University. So now I came to New York and I applied for asylum after overstaying my F1 visa. And after that, asylum was denied and then went to 26 Federal Plaza. So I did everything by myself, no lawyers involved in it. So I went to 26 Federal Plaza and then I got it a final hearing date, individual hearing date, which was February 2018. But before February 2018, I got married to a U.S. citizen, January 2018, beginning of January. I married and I submitted only I-130 to USCIS and went with that receipt, I-130 receipt, to an immigration judge and administratively closed, technically postponed, take off the case from the active docket. Judge told me that come with the results of I-130 so that he can review my I-485, which I didn't submit yet. So, and then after that, I submitted 765 by myself, and I got the work permit months ago. Now, here's the thing. It's been already right now I can check my status, and it says over here, the case has been received at my local office. And then when I submitted the case inquiry, it says that pending and waiting. That's it. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. So now it's been more than a year and 9 months now just for I-130 interview from Queens. No updates or nothing else. So is it normal?
Is it normal? In this day and age, everything is normal. Let me just summarize. I understand what you said to me, but let me just summarize everything for everybody else out there. The man was on a student visa. Well after a year of being here in America, he applied for asylum. So whether he had a claim for asylum or not, we don't know, but he applied more than a year after being here, which is why he's probably denied.
No. I applied after I arrived, after 3 months I applied for asylum.
Fine. All right. So maybe you have an asylum claim, maybe you don't. We don't know. It was denied. After it was denied, he was put into removal proceedings, which is what he's talking about, 26 Federal Plaza. He renewed his asylum before a judge before he gets deported. The judge put it on for a final hearing for him to prove his asylum. And before that final hearing, he got married. He filed a visa petition to prove it's a bona fide marriage between him and his wife, which hopefully it is. And he went back to the judge and he said, here's my receipt. And the judge says, okay, I'm going to postpone the asylum. Let me know what happened on the marriage case. And now the man's waiting a year and 9 months. And the only thing I would suggest to you is, where you're from?
I'm from Russia.
Okay. So it's going to be, you're either going to wait, and I don't know how long you wait. Sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 3 years. Or you file a mandamus. And you have nothing to lose by filing a mandamus, because as soon as you file a mandamus, you're going to get a marriage interview in 30 days. They can't do anything to you any more than they've already done because you're already in removal. So you file a mandamus, you force the government to do what they're supposed to do, which is adjudicate your case within a year.
So when it comes to I-485, I did not submit it yet, so I did the research on YouTube. So now, my question is my last question. I don't want to take too much of your time.
You're getting your work permit based on your asylum case, not based on a marriage
No,
case.
I got that work permit based on the asylum case.
Right.
That's right, but it came 1 year one. And
okay.
I know every case is different, but the similar cases, mine, they already got their green card.
So my answer to you is this is not normal times, and you should file a mandamus.
Okay, so after 4 months, it's going to be almost exactly 2 years since I get married.
My answer to you is file a mandamus. You will get an interview in less than 30 days. Other than that, you can sit here and tell me how abnormal and unfair this is, and all your friends and blah 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 blah. And nobody.
How much is it going to cost to file?
Nobody's going. $25 million. You think I know what my fees are? Talking to you for 30 seconds? I have no idea.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My current EAD card for my asylum application will expire in 2 weeks. So I submitted my marriage case together with a new EAD application on April 22nd this year. And my concern is if I will still be able to continue to work after just the expiration date of my current EAD card. Because I was told about the limited 180-day EAD extension rule does not apply from CO8 category to CO9 category.
Two things.
So I wonder if that's true.
Okay, two things. Number one, I assume you're married to an American citizen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the fact that you're married to an American citizen, whether you work in status or out of status, you work with authorization, you don't work with authorization, it's all forgiven at the interview anyway, for an American citizen. So you have a social security number, keep working. It's not your problem, it's your employer's problem. So that's number one. Number two, you got to withdraw your asylum case or your adjustment's going to be denied. So make sure you withdraw your asylum case. Your social security number is good. Keep working. Hopefully you'll get your work permit shortly. If your employer asks, that you got a problem. But if your employer doesn't ask, it's not. You're allowed to work married to an American citizen out of status. It doesn't affect you.
Oh, I see. And another thing is we received the RFE on June 24th this year for my marriage case, and we sent our response on June 25th. So the online status only shows that they received it and will start again. Does that also mean that my work authorization is still on pause at this moment?
Well, I lost you. What was the last part?
They received my RFE response on July 25th. And
okay, so your RFE.
Status,
so until you obviously filed your application incorrectly, they asked for an RFE. You corrected it. So the new receipt date is July 25th. So count from that day, not from the day that you filed, but from the date of the receipt of the RFE. That's when your application starts processing.
Online status is still showing that will start again soon. Does that mean my current working authorization is still on pause?
What it means is that nobody looked at your application until you corrected it. And now, hopefully, it'll start processing soon. That's exactly what it means.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much.
So what you have to understand is if you submit an incomplete application, it's as if you never submitted anything. Your application just sits in the mailroom until it's complete. And only when it's complete, at that day, does it start processing.
So I have to just wait for 60 days to call them to see what is going on?
You're going to wait longer than 60 days, but you can call all you want. The person you speak to has no idea what's going on.
Okay, so even I replied the RFE as they requested.
When you reply to the RFE, it's one of these days, Belgium Kim, when you reply to the RFE, that's when your application starts processing, and they're delayed 6 months for a work permit. So you can call them in October, you can call them in November, you can call them in December. You're not getting your work permit till January, February.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
My question is that my spouse initially petitioned for me to adjust my status, but that application was denied because he didn't show to the interview based on abuse. Now I have a pending VAWA. I already received my prima facie and I did biometrics.
Right.
I'd like to know what will happen should they decide not to extend the VAWA.
It's a very good question. I don't have an answer for you. I would say that people who filed before October of 2000 and what are we now, 2019, right?
Correct.
People who filed before October 2018 are in a better position than people who filed after October 2018 because the actual VAWA law ended September 30th, 2018. It's been funded for this year, so they've been accepting applications, but there's no law that says VAWA exists this year. We'll know for sure what will happen at the end of September. And I would even say that people who have approved I-360s are in better position than people who just filed before October but didn't get an approval. And people who filed after October certainly don't have any approval. They're in the worst of the three possibilities. If they don't extend it, there's going to be an enormous amount of litigation over what happens. So I don't know. My guess, and I really feel strongly about it, is that it'll be extended. I would be shocked if it's not.
Okay.
All right. So you really just got to hang in there and see what happens.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
Have
you're
a great
welcome.
day.
Okay.
First of all, my husband is filing for my daughter, who's a minor. And since February, they sent a letter to say it was transferred to an office that has jurisdiction. Now, my question is, I want to know if she visits for the next holiday, would we be able to adjust her status here in the U.S.? Or would it cause any problems or conflicts?
If she visits with the purpose of visiting and then stays 90 days and then somehow changes her mind and wants to get a green card, then that would be okay.
Oh, and then we'd need to send an affidavit of support for her as well?
Yes, and it would fall under the new rules, but you're going to fall under the new rules either way. But make sure that she visits for the purpose of visiting and then changes her mind 90 days later.
Okay, and another question. If my husband and I, we went to an interview and my case is still in review, would that automatically just stop our case from processing as well?
No, one has nothing to do with the other.
Okay.
All right.
That is my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it.
I have a friend who came about 35 years ago on a green card.
Right.
And about 10 or 12 years ago, he substituted himself for a day on a convenience store job and sold to an underage boy a can of beer.
Okay.
And that was about 12 years ago.
Okay.
Does it matter now he's the one to apply for the citizenship?
It depends what he was found guilty of. If he came on a green card 30 years ago and his only conviction was this one time 12 years ago for selling underage child and it was a misdemeanor, it would seem to me that that would be a crime of moral turpitude. It's not a deportable offense and it happened more than 5 years ago. So it sounds like to me, without seeing the disposition and knowing what he pled guilty to, but it sounds like to me that he would be eligible to apply for citizenship.
So it will be processed in a due course of time after submitting maybe in 3 months or 2 months?
Well, I don't know what you mean by due course of time. Two things. Number one, you should never submit anything to immigration when you have a criminal record, and just hope that everything is fine. And two, when you do have a criminal record and you are applying for citizenship, your case will be delayed.
Is the misdemeanor is a criminal offense?
Yes.
So if the judge says you are adjudicated, your thing is adjudicated, something, I can recall what it said.
If the judge says you're adjudicated something, I don't know what it says. I don't know what an answer to give you. So what I would suggest is make an appointment by phone. I'll have a consultation with me. Show me your disposition, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so hold on. So last we heard from Keith, your son got arrested for a false document. Where is he at this point?
He's in jail in Florida.
Okay, and was he? How did he get caught with a false document? What was he doing?
He was at home. Waiting on an attorney, on a lawyer. He's waiting on a lawyer to get his petition together.
So how did all of a sudden he get arrested?
He was at home and he got arrested.
By immigration?
He hasn't been to immigration just before.
Why
he
did
went to the regular court.
Why did the police just walk into his home?
No, one of his friends said something and then they came looking for him because they know the status of it.
All right. We need to get to the bottom of this. I don't have the answer for you. All right. There's more to the story than the police just don't show up to somebody's home and arrest them. So we need to know a lot more. Hold on one second. I think you're going to need a consultation. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.